Hello everyone, welcome to Card Design Thursday. So I am so excited about today's card. Of course, this week is Christmas week, and I'm going to be using this holly pattern paper that I got last year from Hobby Lobby. And I'm using 110-pound cardstock, and this is just red cardstock. And I'm using some green cardstock. So let me show you the card that I created first. Now, first of all, let me preface by saying this. I know everybody's been jumping on the bandwagon about the Impossible card. And I wanted to make one too, but I wanted one to look different. And so thanks to Sam from Mixed Up Craft, I have a card that now looks different, but it's still an Impossible card. And this is the card right here. It is a triple flip Impossible card. So now I have to say, it's not too difficult to do, and it can be a little flimsy if you don't use good cardstock. Now this is 110-pound cardstock, and you see it still stands up and everything, so you know, real happy about that. But you can put a base, you can cut a base to put under here, and like this one, this one is too small, but you can cut a base like this and to mount it on a base of the card. That way you would have a sentiment place to write on the back of that card, because there is no place to write a sentiment on here other than just writing Merry Christmas at the bottom, and then that's the back, the way the back looks right there. But I think it's unique and it's cute and I really like it. So let's get started and I'll show you what you need to make it. So you are going to need a base, and I would recommend using heavy cardstock for the base. And this is a piece of paper that is 7.5 by 5 inches. And then for all the little strips and things that you're going to need to decorate, you're going to need 8 pieces of paper that are 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. And then you're going to need 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. And then on this one, I've cut a piece that is 7 by 1, and then the little holly piece right here in the middle of it is 6 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And then for the sentiment, this is 4 by 1 1/2, and then this one is 3 3/4 by 1 7/8. And then this one I cut just a little bit smaller. Let's see. It is 1 inch by 3 1/4. So that's the dimensions of that. And then I used a couple of different stamp sets to get what I wanted out of it. So first of all, I used May's Celebrate the Season stamp set for the Merry Christmas stamp out of it. And then I used Festive Fun from Create at Home with G, and I actually used this little bow right here. I used the holly leaves, and I used the little Christmas tree. And these are those pieces here. I'm also using this little white dove with the little rhinestones on it. This was actually gifted to me by Kathy's Cards, Kathy Randall, a couple of years ago. And so now I don't have a cutting machine, and I honestly could not fussy cut all this out by hand. So I just did it like this. I just did it in the shape like a cutting machine might leave a white edge on it. And then I did the same thing with a little bow. It's just going on the back, and the holly leaf. So that's that. So let's get started with the measurements. Now the card is not a terribly hard card to do. It is a little fussy. But it just measurements and things like that. It is very important that you get your measurements right though, because it will not work if you don't. And trust me, I know this. Okay, starting on the 5-inch side, I am putting it into my scoreboard. This is where I do it differently, because I don't like measuring all that stuff with a ruler and making sure I get it right. So I'm using my scoreboard. Starting on the short side, you are going to make a little mark about 2.5 inches. No, not about. You're going to do 2.5 inches. And then you're going to turn it around on the other side and make another little mark at 2.5 inches. I do it on a scoreboard because I know I'm going to get it right. Okay, then on the 7.5 inch side, on one side you are going to score it at 1.5. Not score it. You're going to mark it at 1.5, and then at 3 inches, 4.5, and then at 6. Then you're going to flip it over on the other side, and you're going to mark it at 3/4 of an inch, 2 1/4, 3 inches, no, excuse me, 3 3/4 inches, 5 1/4, and then 6 3/4. And this is going to give you your 1/4 inch border there. Okay, so we have all those, and then now what I'm going to do is just take a ruler and I'm going to draw a line down the center here to join these two ends so that I can pull my lines down to the middle. Okay, so like I said, I had to pause for a minute and check on the kiddos. We are now going to join the lines up at 2.5. And so we're going to do our little tick marks straight down the middle. And we're going to, I'm going to line this up on the line here. So I'm just going to take my ruler here and I'm going to line this up on my craft map like this, so that I have this line coming straight down to that line, and that way I can make sure that my ruler is exactly even all the way across. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put my ruler down on the line and make sure that it's nice and straight with this line that runs all the way through. And all I'm doing is connecting the lines. Okay, then I'm going to flip it around this way and connect these lines. Okay, and I don't know if you can see those lines or not, but they're there. I can see them. So then we're just going to cut up the lines. And just be very careful and make sure you cut all the way up to the middle line. That's really important. If you don't, your card will not flip. Oops. And just take your time and follow the line that you made. Okay. I will say with this card versus the other Impossible card, it's easy to get lost flipping. So you just kind of have to be mindful where you are. You can't lay it down, in other words, and go run do something else. Okay. Okay. So now, you have this side that has the 3/4 inch side, and then you have the one that has the 5 little flaps, this side. You want the 5 flaps facing you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this first flap, and oh, I forgot to tell you, if you want to, you can go on this line here in the middle at the 3/4 inch mark, not the very beginning, but the 3/4 inch mark, which is what I've been doing. And just give that a light score all the way down to the last 3/4 inch. You don't want to do the edges. It will help you to flip these. So you're going to take the first flap and you're going to tuck it under, and then this sits up. Now you're going to skip this one, the second one, and you're going to flip, tuck this one under. Okay? So you're going to tuck that one under. And then you're going to take the last one and you're going to bend it back and tuck it under. And then I just like to take the top flaps and fold them down. So it should look like this. You have your 2 3/4 inches on the front, the 2 flaps here, and then you have your 4 flaps here, and then 3 in the back. Okay? So that is basically your 3 flip impossible card. It's very simple. Like I said, these will lay down when you flat. Now it looks a little flimsy even with a 100-pound cardstock, but once you start putting your layer of paper on it and stuff, it gets a little thicker. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to take, no we're not, we're going to take our little papers and glue them down first. Okay? So obviously the 3/4 inch ones go here. I'm just using art glitter glue to glue it down. This is a whole lot easier cutting the papers for the strips on this one too, because you don't have to worry about getting that little L shape or whatever. But like I said, I just wanted to do something different, and I thought this was so cute and different. And you just go up to the score line, a little bit below the score line. There we go. And then you're going to put these pieces right here, the ones that are 2.5 by 2.25, and they go right here on this piece, and then these 3 in the back. And then I am putting them on the 2 middle pieces only. And you can decorate it any way you want to. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to finish putting these papers on, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I now have my papers all on the front and the back. So now let's work on this back piece here. I'm just taking the, the paper that I told you is 7. Let's see, it's going to go back here like this. 7 by, no, 7 5/8 by an inch. Yep, that's an inch. Okay. And then I'm just taking the little strip of paper in the middle of it, and I'm just going to glue that down. Actually, I think I put foam on the last one to make it stand up a little bit. I don't know. I think I'm just going to glue this one down. Or do I want foam? No, I'm just going to glue this one down. Okay, I can't make my mind up, guys. Alright. So I'm just going to run this down the middle of it. And then I'm going to take some of the blingy stuff, that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to put it on the back of it. It does have score tape on the back of it. So it's a little easier to put on there, but there again, I can't get the paper off. Never fails when you're on camera. You have malfunctions. it's being rather fiddly. There we go. And I'm just going to run it down the middle. Get this off. Okay. And then I'm just going to glue it on the back right here. And that's going to give that, no, not the back side. Whew. And that's just going to give that a little bit of support back there. So I'm only just going to put glue on the ends here and here. And I might put just a little bit in the middle. So this part you pretty much do like you do the Impossible card. Now you have that glued down for support there. And then on the front, I'm just going to take my foam dots here. And I'm going to glue this one down. In the middle. Okay. And then before I put foam dots on here, I think I want to make some little stitch lines. And since my pen is in black, my ink's black, I decided to go ahead and do that with that as well. Just give it a little something. Okay. Then I'll flip this over and put some foam dots on it. Oops. Okay. I'm going to stick that on there. Well, things are just not sticking right for me today, are they? And I'm just going to put that in the middle. It says Merry Christmas. And then on the front, this is going to go right here. Okay. So I'm just going to glue that down the same way. Put a little glue on the end. And sort of put that in the middle. There we go. Okay. And then you can put some little things right here on the end if you want to. I thought I had another little, you know, I'm not gonna, that's too big. I might go back and put some red dots or something there. I'm not sure yet. But okay, on this one right here, when you do the things for the top part, I didn't put paper on here because I have these trees to go that are gonna go on here. But I wanted them to stick up, but these are too big. So all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to go down, if I don't stab myself first, I'm going to go down about an inch from the bottom. And I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to angle the corners. Like that. And do the same thing on this side. About an inch from the bottom. And I'm just eyeballing this, guys. And then I'm just going to angle the sides. Oof, angle that one too much. Alright. So the dove is going to go in the middle here. And the reason why I put pattern paper on it is so that, you know, it wouldn't just be so stark against red. So I'm going to glue the bottom part of that on, put it on here. Oh, and I meant to tell you, all my embellishments are backed up on green cardstock, the 110 pound cardstock, just so that you wouldn't look at blank paper. Okay, so that's how that goes. And then I'm just going to put the little holly leaf down here that he might be carrying with his feet. Okay, that's so cute. And then I'm going to take the Christmas tree and put glue on the bottom of it. And do the same thing for this side. Okay, there you go. And I just put this little bow on the back of it. Just at the top right here. Just to have something back there. But there you go. The flip card. Now, I'm going to make this one and show you what it looks like if you have a border on it. If we have enough time. I think we do. If I get cut off, you know I didn't have enough time. So I'm going to cut a little base plate, if you will, that is 8.5 by 5.5. I'm just going to go out here to 8.5. And then cut one at 5.5. And I decided to do it in green since the paper is in red. Okay. Let's see. And then you just put it on here like this. So it sits. And then the person on the back, you can put white or whatever on there and they can see a sentiment. So all I'm going to do is just put glue on my card base here. And flip it over. And sort of sit that in the middle. Like so. Oops. It's art glitter glue. It dries clear. Okay. Boy, I did not get that very straight, did I? I'll be taking that off and doing it over. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that over now because I don't like that. No, I'm not that much of a perfectionist, but, and I'm saying I'm not going to stress about it, but when it's that off, I would stress about it. Okay. There we go. While it's still wet, it'll still sit. All right. Anyway,